Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how I made this marbled chocolate sourdough loaf. It is not the most perfect marbled look, but I promise you guys it is so delicious, and everyone who saw this loaf was so impressed by it and it made me feel so good. So I am going to start off by making the dough for both the chocolate and the regular sourdough loaf. I am making half of the loaf for both of the recipes just to make one full one. So I am going to leave the recipe in the description down below for you guys so you can see both recipes. But we are going to start off by putting 50 grams of active sourdough starter onto two different bowls. Then I add about 160 grams of water to one of the bowls. I am starting with the regular sourdough loaf, and then I'm adding about 250 grams of flour and 5 grams of salt. I am going to mix all of these ingredients together until there are no more big pockets of flour left over. I like to start mixing it with my spatula because it helps me clean my bowl as I mix all of the ingredients together, and I don't know, it just makes me feel like there's less to clean when I use the spatula and it doesn't stick to my bowl too much. So here I am blooming the cocoa powder. I am putting 25 grams of cocoa powder into my bowl and 50 grams of warm water. And then I mix these two together until there are no chunks of cocoa powder, until it's nice and smooth. So then we go back to the bowl and I am going to add 150 grams of water, and I am mixing the starter and the water together before adding the cocoa powder mixture, and I am just making sure that there are no big clumps of starter on the bowl. And then I add that cocoa powder mixture into the bowl and I mix everything together again until everything is well combined. And then I go ahead and add about 25 grams of brown sugar. And here I think I added a little bit too much, but then I ended up taking off exactly the amount that I needed to make 25 grams. I went ahead and mixed everything together, and then I added 250 grams of flour and 5 grams of salt. I mixed everything together again with my handy dandy spatula, and I made sure that there were no chunks of flour left over on the dough. And you can see here that my bowl gets nice and clean when I use the spatula, which I love because at the end of the day, when I have to wash the dishes, there are no dry chunks of flour left over and it's very easy to clean. After 30 minutes of letting the dough rest, I go ahead and start on my first set of stretch and folds. I go ahead and stretch the dough, and then I go ahead and start to do some slap and folds, as you can see here. I prefer to do this to my dough because I feel like it gets it nice and strong quickly, and my dough looks smooth or somewhat smooth by the end of the first stretch and fold. As you can see here, it's not sticky and it looks so nice. And then I do the stretch and fold onto the chocolate sourdough loaf, and I do the same thing. I stretch it a little bit and then I start with the slap and folds. The thing I like about this dough is that it almost feels like Play-Doh, the texture of this dough. I don't know if it's the sugar, but if you guys make this recipe, you guys will see what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I'm just doing the slap and folds, and then I make sure that it feels nice and smooth and not sticky to the touch, as you can see here. And then I put it back in the bowl and I close it with parchment paper, and I let it sit on the counter for another 30 minutes before I start on the second set. This is the second set here, and I am just doing the same thing, stretching out the dough and doing some slap and folds to make sure it gets a little bit more strength. And I kind of roll the dough into itself, as you can see here. And I don't know, I just feel like it works on my dough so much more than just regular stretch and folds. And now I am going to work on the chocolate sourdough loaf. I am going to do the exact same thing, stretch and folds, slap and folds, and all that good stuff. And then I am going to let the dough rest on the counter for 30 minutes, and I will do my last third stretch and fold. I believe I didn't record that last set, but I just did the exact same thing, and then I let it rest on the counter until it was done bulk fermenting. And after a few hours, I was ready to shape both loaves. So I started with the regular classic sourdough loaf dough because I wanted this dough to be the outside of the loaf, the color on the outside. I wanted it to be this one, if that makes sense. So I made this dough into a rectangle, and then I did a rectangle with the chocolate sourdough loaf as well. I have very little counter space, so I apologize, but I made the rectangle and then I put it over the classic sourdough loaf halfway, and then I fold the classic sourdough over the chocolate and then the chocolate over again. As you can see here, I kind of try to stretch the dough a little bit into like a larger rectangle. Not so much, but just enough so I could like roll it over like a cinnamon roll. Here I got a little bit of flour just to flour my hands because it was a bit sticky trying to get both doughs together to roll, and I was just trying to tuck the dough into itself to create a little bit of tension. And I was gonna just pop it like this into the banneton because I assumed that if I just rolled it like a cinnamon roll, it would be like the perfect swirl. But I felt like the dough didn't have enough tension to hold its shape. I don't know if you can see here, it kind of looks a little like, it looked too soft to me. And I was about to put it into the banneton, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do a double caddy clasp. And here I was already thinking, damn, I already messed this up. It's not gonna have a swirl. Like, what should I do? Should I just leave it? I was just gonna do one caddy clasp. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just do another one so the dough can have enough tension. And that's what I did. I did another one and then I did another again. And I don't know. I just felt like I had ruined the swirl at this point. And I was just like, okay, whatever happens, happens. And I just put some plastic wrap over it and stuck it in the fridge overnight. And this was the dough in the morning. It grew a little bit and I was ready to bake it. So I went ahead and got my sling, my bread sling, and I put the dough over it and I just did a regular score. It's all wonky over here. I was already thinking, damn, this loaf is not gonna be pretty and at least it'll taste good, but I just kept going and then I decided to do a little decorative score on the side. It's not perfect, but you know. So as I did this, my oven was already preheated to 450 degrees with my Dutch oven inside, and I went ahead and baked this loaf for 30 minutes with the lid on, and then I took the lid off and I baked it for an additional 10 minutes. My oven has been running a little bit hot this time of year. When I do leave it for the full 15 minutes, it kind of looks burnt. So just keep an eye out on your oven, but mine takes about 10 minutes additional with the Dutch oven lid off and it comes out perfect. It's cooked from the inside and this is what it looked like when it came out of the oven. I was kind of hopeful when I saw it look like this, and once I let it cool down for about an hour, I was ready to cut into it. And here I was like, please, please, please have somewhat of a swirl or just a marbled look. And I was very happy with how it turned out. It is not perfect, but look at how pretty that is. I really like the flavor of both doughs together. I forgot to mention, if you want to add sugar to your classic sourdough recipe, you can, just to make this loaf like a full-on sweet loaf. I just like the difference of the flavors together, which is why I didn't put any sugar on the other dough. But you can definitely do that. And look at how beautiful it turned out. It was so soft and every single slice looked so pretty. I ended cutting up the loaf for you guys so you can see that every single piece looked like a little zebra, and I'm just kidding, but it just had like the swirl in every slice, even when you cut it into like the half slices or the long slices, like everything looks so pretty. So if you want to make this loaf and wow some people, you definitely can. My kids were so impressed and they were so happy and it was so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.